Welcome back to the channel, guys and gals. It's time to get back on the 79 C35. We got to get this thing in daily driving condition because I'm selling my van. Now, I do have a ton of work I want to do to this truck, but right now this needs to be my daily transport, and it is cooling down just a smidge out here in Florida. The heat index is now like 98 instead of 117. So it's the perfect time to cruise around in this thing. Now, if y'all remember, we rebuilt the big block, we serviced the transmission, we basically did a mad dash to get this thing on the road for the Southeastern Truck Nationals, and I could not get the valve covers to seal. I had such an issue with it. I tried straightening out the valve covers, I tried multiple different techniques, and I could just not get the valve covers to seal, and it was leaking bad enough that I did not want to attempt a 600-mile road trip, potentially set this thing on fire and, you know, watch it burn to the ground. So I found a company out of California called Ansen, and they make some killer valve covers. Don't let the box fool you. What's in here is freaking awesome. This company makes these valve covers right here in the good old US of A. Look at this beauty, man. This is gonna be a direct replacement for those steel valve covers I got in there. And if we pull this out of the package, just look at this high quality American made product. And the cool thing is this is actually cast aluminum, and it has a thicker flange, so it's not gonna deform like the steel flange would. So when we go to install it on our cylinder head, it's gonna lay nice and flat. And to help with the install, I got these extra thick cork gaskets. So if you look real close, I got some cork gaskets before, but they were about half this size and they were split with a layer of steel. I'm telling you, I tried just about every technique you can to install these valve covers to no avail. So we're changing that today. We're gonna go with a nice quality American product, a nice quality thick cork gasket, and I'm switching over to doing studs instead of a bolt, because I really don't want to use any kind of sealants or anything. I just want the cork gaskets to be on there, and we'll torque them down and send it down the road and see if we're blowing a ridiculous amount of white smoke just from some simple little valve covers. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little worried about this one particular section. So if you take a peek in here, you see we got our AC mounting bracket. Now, this truck does not have AC right now, so if I have to remove this, it's not a big deal. However, it is very close to the valve cover, and these valve covers are just a smidge taller, so I'm hoping that it'll clear when we put that valve cover on. If not, I got an idea on how I could still use this. I might install a longer stud on the intake manifold and then do some spacers to help pick this up, or maybe just do some custom bending on the bracket, because, you know, we like to do custom fabrication work here at the channel. I really don't know what we're gonna do with that, but I do know that I've done this job about 4 times in the last month, and I'm very proficient at it. So let's start getting these valve covers off so we can put the new ones on. I wanna make sure that these fasteners are gonna work, because if they're not gonna work, I can run to the store real quick and grab some thick boys. All right, so we're gonna have our stud here. Something like that. Oh yeah, that should work pretty good. We're gonna clean this up real quick. Wipe her down with some brake clean just to get rid of all that oil, residue, and all that good stuff. Now we're gonna put in our studs. This is a very straightforward installation. You just do that. Install our thick cork gasket. Install this beautiful American-made valve cover. Oh, you know what? It is pretty clean, but I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it down just in case. I'll slide these beauties in here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So with these valve covers, you really don't have to go nuts on your torque spec. So we're just going to like 6 foot-pounds. Man, that looks good. Let's go ahead and start putting our stuff back together here. 2. It's gonna be 4. I like it a lot. Passenger side's looking great. Now we gotta, come on. Turn our attention to the old driver's side. All right, we got our studs in, our gasket is there. We got everything wiped down, cleaned up. Click, 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 click. All right, let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. Well, it's okay. We just won't run AC right now because we don't have it anyway. Oh man, oh gosh, this thing's heavy. Well, dadgum, she looks pretty good. What do y'all think? I think it looks great. We gotta run to the parts store though. It doesn't fit, so I'm gonna go get another grommet. Had to take off our AC compressor, which isn't a big deal because it didn't work anyway. So I'm gonna throw this stuff back together, fire it up, take her around the block. Hopefully she's a driver. We don't gotta do nothing else to her for a little while. Still got a bunch of plans for this truck. I got a huge delivery from Auto Metal Direct, and we're doing a bunch of rust repair. We're gonna put in a new windshield. We're gonna make this truck pretty solid, and I'm excited about it because when it rains, it basically rains in the cab. In. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got a spotter. Tight fit. Yeah, she's a big girl. All right, let's run to the parts store real quick. We gotta return this water pump. Get a new grommet. We'll put some miles on this thing. All right, let's go. Well, I haven't driven the truck highway speeds since right before I left for Southeastern Truck National. So I've just been kind of keeping it under 55. Haven't really been doing nothing crazy. So today, we're gonna open her up a little bit. Because what happens is, if I keep it under 55, it really doesn't leak too bad. It's when we start going over that 55 mark and that motor's screaming and the oil pressure gets really high, I feel like it starts kind of blowing by the valve cover gasket and then leaking and then smoking like crazy. So we'll see if we start smoking here in a minute, but I just got to get through a couple of traffic lights. When I did these valve covers, I actually cleaned the back of the block up and got all the oil out of the way because I wanted to make sure there was nothing left over that could be like confusing me, because I get confused easy nowadays, guys. Oil pressure sitting at 55. It's great. I'm not seeing really any smoke. I just looked over to my right at the stoplight and noticed we got some smoke coming up, and I'm smelling some burning oil, but there was actually quite a bit of oil still on the exhaust. So maybe that's it. I really hope it's not fresh oil because I'll be super frustrated. Is that smoke back there? I think we're smoking, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, we're smoking. Can you see back there at all? if that's not just the most frustrating thing, man. Like, well, new development here. I actually don't see any oil coming off the back of this valve cover. So we may have stopped the valve cover leak because there's no oil dripping on that side. I guess we have another leak that I didn't know about because I kept seeing oil on the back of the head right here, but this one's dry. This one is bone dry. All right, valve covers are good. Let's go look at the other side, shall we? Yeah, that one looks dry too. All right, so those valve covers are awesome, and I think going with the extra thick cork gasket definitely made a huge difference. It is 100% dry under there, which I'm very happy with. I'm not happy with, however, the other oil leak that either A, I didn't see, or one that just popped up. That probably didn't happen. It's probably been there the whole time. But hey, at least it's only leaking on one side now and not both sides. So calling that a W for now. That was tight. Oh, I see a bunch of oil right there. Hang on. Might be our distributor. Oh, you guys are all foggy, sorry. All right, I'm gonna start this truck. Come here. So, can you sit here and then push on the gas? So it sounds like this. Just hold it there. Okay? Go for it. Too much. A little bit. Down. Yeah, you're good. It's okay. Just push on the gas a little bit. Yeah, put your heel on the floor. Push on it a little bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. Right there. Just hold it, okay? Hold it. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. I don't know. I gotta take this back to the shop and fool around with it and figure out what's going on. Something's definitely not right. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe one of the oil plugs on the back of the block, but even still, dude, like, I put thread sealant on it, ran them in there. I don't know, man. Really bummed out though. Well, I brought her back to the shop, trying to figure out where this oil leak's coming from. Took off the torque converter cover. We got some oil down there, all over the outside. If we venture on under this bad boy, it's gonna be really hard for y'all to see. But right here, where the starter meets the block, it's got oil in it. So I started looking up in here, and we won't be able to see it because it's very tucked away, but there's two oil plugs up there, and I thought that maybe, just maybe, one of those plugs were leaking, but both of them are bone dry. So I was like, okay, well, that's good. I don't have to drop the transmission. Started looking at, the rear main seal. That looks all clean. Our flex plate's clean. There is a little bit of oil at the lip of the oil pan, but that looks like the oil was coming from the valve covers, which you can see the bottom of the valve cover right there. It actually is dry, which is pretty awesome. So naturally, it's to me, it's something over here, so I keep looking and looking and looking, right? There does appear to be, which you can't see from this angle, a little bit of oil on the back of the intake. Now, I've already had that intake off. Like, I rebuilt the motor, put it on, and it was leaking a little bit, so I took it back off and gave her a nice RTV treatment in the China walls, set that sucker back on there, and we got a nice thick bead on the front and the back side. So I'm thinking maybe it is coming from this old distributor. You know, and it's only forcing its way out when we're at high revs. I know you saw me test it with Walker. He went a little heavy on a skinny pedal, but I didn't see any oil shooting out. So I think I'm gonna pull the distributor, get a closer look down there and see if the oil is on top of the intake manifold and running down the back of the block, or if it's starting at the bottom of the intake manifold, which would mean we're gonna pull the intake manifold and do this for the third time. You know, with these, when you're trying to detect an oil leak with new oil, fresh oil, it's really tough to see where it's coming from. And I can't tell you how many times I've been up under this truck trying to find this oil leak. But dadgummit, we're gonna solve it today. The distributor is tight. I'm gonna disconnect our battery. Pointing at cylinder number 7. Okay. Ah, she's pretty wet. Pretty wet. See that nice fat bead of silicone all the way corner to corner. So I think what we're gonna do is, I think we're gonna clean the paint up around here and then get a different gasket, or maybe double up on the distributor gasket. All right, got some new gaskets, actually doubled up on them, and this is the that hold down for the distributor. We'll just put a little more bend in it. Slide our distributor in. Uh-oh. I got my 6 and my 4 backwards. Uh-oh. All right, let's try that again. I was off by a couple of teeth. Tried to do the distributor real quick, you know, but it's what you get when you rush stuff. You make tiny mistakes and then it sets you back even further. So anyway, let's try it again. There we go. No, too slow. Nope, that's worse. There we go. Better. We're gonna have to back it off a little bit. Oh yeah. There we go. It's running a little rich. I'm gonna adjust this idle mixture screw a little bit. That's the dang torque converter cover. Hang on a second. There we go. Oh, I need a quick ratio steering box. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have we fixed the infamous oil leak in the old C35? You know, I was thinking about calling this one Creamy Bluey. And there was a commercial, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, where a guy was trying to order creme brulee at a fancy restaurant, and he was calling it Creamy Brulee. So this is Creamy Bluey, because it's cream and it's blue, and that's it. All right, let's open her up a little bit. Now this is about the point in the road test where I would start seeing and smelling smoke, and right now we're still really good. Well, this is the first time in almost a year that this truck has left the county under its own power. Still not smoking, it's doing really good. We got about another 10 miles or so on this test drive. The interstate's right up here, so I'm gonna be doing that sustained 65 for a while, probably just post up behind a big old semi truck. bizarre, like, for me, going like 65 miles an hour on the interstate. Normally, like, I don't drive that at all. I drive a lot faster than that. But I think that's where she wants to be, you know, like, she's staying relatively cool. Our oil pressure's at 40. We've got 13 volts going into the battery. You know, we're getting some thumbs ups, some good thumbs ups. The last time somebody I thought was giving me a thumbs up, they were trying to tell me my tailgate was down. My tailgate? No, this one's up. Okay, good. Yeah, this stretch is going to be a really good test to see like what else we got going on with this truck. I do plan on taking it to C10 Fall Revival. That's going to be the next show that I drive to. That's going to be in October of this year, 2025. I will have a booth there, so I'll have some merch with me available for purchase, and we plan on hanging out and having a great time that weekend. Hey, look, I'm going to pass somebody. Are you serious right now? Oh, no, they just sped up. I thought I was going to pass somebody. Something I could do also to help out with these RPMs is get a bigger tire. The tires that are on here are a little smaller than what were originally on here. I have to get new tires anyway. These tires came from, these actually wheels and tires came from the OBS dually that I built, the pace truck dually. And they got decent life left in them, but they're a little old. So I think before the next big road trip, I'm gonna get a new set of tires. Again, I might go a little bit taller. That'll help out with the RPMs a little bit, not much, but you know, I think every little bit helps in a case like this. About to get off the interstate here. Let's see if we're dripping anything, shall we? Good old Wawa. Funny enough, this gas station and this exact gas pump is where I called it on the last trip, where we were still leaking a ton of oil out of this thing. And I did not make it to Southeastern Truck Nationals in this truck, so let's look under here. No drips? Are you serious right now? I am bewildered, befoozled. Dude, so you would see these trans cooler lines would be soaked. The bottom of the torque converter cover would be soaked. The starter would just be dripping. Dude, I think, well, by golly, I think we solved the mystery of the old elusive oil leak. How are we looking under the hood? Okay. Yeah, everything's looking dry. Okay. Nothing's all weird. Okay. Dude, this is great. Perfect. I couldn't be more happy with the outcome of this video. I need to start daily driving this dang truck, and that oil leak was so bad I couldn't daily drive it. So now I think we are ready to go. Well, I'm gonna hop in here and go to Wawa, get myself a pressed little panini there. Spicy Italian panini, that's what it is. Panini signature. Let's try this hot, honey hot Italian. I'll take it. So it used to be like a Italian panini, but now it's like a spicy Italian panini, but now it's a hot honey hot panini. Just, I mean, like from a gas station, bro, are you serious? The honey's actually not a bad addition there. My goodness. That's great. All right, guys and gals, I'm gonna finish my honey hot panini and enjoy the cruise back to the shop. I gotta get some other stuff ready for the next video. And what a great way to end this video. I've been trying to get this truck 100% for probably 3 months, and And it just, one little thing after another just kept like compounding and compounding, and then it's got to the point where it's like I ran out of time to work on the dang thing, and I didn't have the time to try to figure out what's going on with it. But we got it figured out, ladies and gentlemen. Ansen valve covers, based out of California, made in the USA, cast aluminum valve covers. They'll even do custom work for you if you want. I think the set I got was like 220 bucks or something. Now for an American-made quality product like that, I think that's a pretty dang good price. And they actually make my engine bay look a little less trashy, which is a huge win in my book. So guys and gals, if you got a crazy oil leak on the passenger side of your big block or small block Chevy, double, triple check that distributor. The one last thing I was going to do, if I didn't figure it out in this run, was throw in some UV dye in the oil and then drive it, and then with a UV light figure out where that oil leak's coming from. I don't think I have to do that now. I think we got it figured out. I think I'm ready to start driving this thing daily, and I'm ready to work on the next thing. Anyway, guys and gals, if you want some super sweet Yeah Buddy merch, check out yeahbuddygarage.com. As always, I appreciate y'all hanging around and watching these videos. I'll see you in the next one.